What's good, family? What's good, family? Chief Jono's live. Uh, very, can I say, a very warm welcome to all of you. Although it's really cold this morning here in Melbourne. Excuse to have a drink. It's been really, really cold. It's winter here in Melbourne, Australia, and for the past week, it's been really, really cold and it's been rainy. So we are privileged to have the rains come this year. Uh, we, we really thank the heavens for the rain. Uh, it doesn't really rain much here in Australia, but when it does, it pours. So we're really really grateful for the rains. All right. So yeah, I want to say a warm welcome to all of you again. Thank you for all my new subscribers. We're really approaching 500 subscribers mark uh, very quickly. We shall be, we're currently 487 subscribers, the last time I checked. So, yeah, we must be doing something really good. I want to thank all my existing or my early subscribers. I want to thank you so much for staying with me and for helping grow this channel. All right, so yeah, welcome again to all my new subscribers. I am Chief Drino, my channel is Chief Drino, and I am someone that you would say I am a Pan-African or Pan-Africanist. I promote Pan-Africanism and I promote the global unification of everyone of African descent. So, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, I am Australian. Was born in Ghana. Okay, was born in Ghana to an African American father and a mother who was born in Ghana, but her parents migrated from East Africa, precisely Rwanda. So this is why I do this. Okay, I took my DNA test. I am like 60% North African, Berber, Moroccan, Algeria, Mozambique, Egyptian, and Rwanda, Somali, Mozambique, Namibia, so this is me. This is my ancestry all over, okay, all over Africa, and it's paramount, okay. It's only innate that someone like me will gravitate towards Pan-Africanism and to ensure the unity, okay, the unity of everyone of African descent, okay. So as always, I come on, I love to read. Okay, I love to read. I read a lot. Shout out to Solo, by the way. Hashtag Solo. Okay. I've got my new haircut. Showing off my new haircut. If you haven't seen my barbershop episode, okay, go down to my archives and you know, scroll through. You see my barbershop episodes. Every time I go have a haircut, I try to communicate with the brothers and sisters that show up at the barbershop, and we have a good time. All right, we have a good time. So yeah, check out my barbershop episodes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I always come on, to promote Pan-Africanism and ensure that we are on point, we are on code, to unite. Okay, it's only through unity that we can achieve anything meaningful as Black people. Okay, united we stand, divided we fall. Okay, and for centuries, okay, from from 1884 to 85, okay, when they had this Berlin conference, okay, to divide Africa, okay, it was for an agenda because a divided people cannot come together and unite and build Africa. Okay, that's why they did this. So the Berlin conference divided Africa like farmlands. Okay, but in 2019, okay, the global awakening of the African spirit, okay, in each and every one of us who is African descent, okay, is very well alive. Okay, we're talking about Pan Africanism. Okay, reaching new heights with the president of Ghana. Okay, launching the year of return last year in was it in it wasn't a US. I forgot the city now. I think it was the DC. Okay, and he's gone around, okay, traveling through the Caribbean, promoting Pan-Africanism and building bridges, okay, building bridges with Guyana, Jamaica, Barbados, and so on. Okay, so to not I'm gonna to today actually it's 10 a.m. exactly 10 a.m. Here in Melbourne. Okay, wherever you are, you might be in the States, it might be late evenings for you, but I want to talk about our experience as African people or people that are descending from Africans, okay? Especially some of us who have had parents or ancestors gone through the transatlantic slave trade, okay, and our experiences and everything to do with that, okay. We're going to talk about that, the reparations, the talk of reparations. We'll talk about that. So, as I always do, I bring out news articles. Okay, I love to read. When I come across an article that I find very, very interesting, okay, I like to share that with the family. So on YouTube. So this is what my channel is about. If you're new to the channel, please like the channel. Um, Subscribe. Ring the bell. Okay. For further notifications and just support the channel, help it grow. Okay, so with this stream, okay, I'm gonna share the stream and we shall get talking. Okay, we shall get talking in a minute, so please bear with me. So I'll share this with my African YouTubers group, okay, on WhatsApp. That's my WhatsApp group. So yeah, what's good, family? So yeah, sorry for the awkward silence. Okay, I'm just trying to share the stream. Okay, few people. Let's see if we can bring O'Shea in here. Okay, if he's not already in here. Watermeyer. Okay. Let's see if Watermeyer, if he's not too busy being in love. Yeah, Niger boy would love to be in here. All right, so I think I have shared with the most significant family. Okay. Let's see if we can get Dynasty in here as well. All right. All right. So enough of that. I have shared it. Also, I like to see testing. Let's see who's in the chat. Let's see who is in the chat. Okay. So yeah, going. Barbara Sutton, thanks for joining the stream. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing, sister? I just returned from Ghana this past week, Wednesday, first time visiting Ghana. Absolutely loved it. In the process of moving to Ghana permanently next year. Oh, family, that's great. Okay, that's great. The Niger boy, thanks for joining the stream, family. Who is Who is the hater that thumbs down? Are you serious? Someone who's already thumbs this down? Oh wow! It must be the ADOS, right? It must be ADOS because I know them. I know them, right? That's what they do. Uh, yeah. I mean, Ghana is taking major strides. Okay, major steps. Towards development, and it's always been the case. Okay, everything has been set up that way. You know, peace family, Eric B. Thanks for joining the stream. Okay, the founding fathers of Ghana, set up Ghana like that. Okay, and in life, okay, if your fathers, okay, and I say fathers because the man must always lead. Okay, I believe in I believe in structure. Okay, I believe in order. Okay, everything has its place and purpose. Um, Everything has its place and purpose in life. So you know, there's a masculine energy and a feminine energy, and the masculine energy is to go out there and pave the way for the feminine energy, and in unity. Okay, they build together. Okay, the man cannot do with a woman without the woman, and the woman cannot do without the man. Okay, this is the African way of life. Okay, this is the African way of life, and it's structured. All right, so the father must always pave the way for the child to succeed. Make sure you succeed. If your child fails, okay, you as a father have failed. All right, you as a father have failed. So those of you who are yet to have kids, okay, this is a strong advice for you. Okay, don't let your children down. Okay, if your children fail, you have failed. All right. So the founding fathers of Ghana have set up Ghana for Ghana to succeed, for Ghana to be at the forefront, okay, of everything. The it's nature's own doing. Okay, it's not necessarily designed. Okay, they just tapped into the energy of Ghana, and the name Ghana itself means the warrior king. Okay, and in the ancient past, okay, is the king that leads the battle. Okay, not these days. You have your pussified, politicians, okay, who sit in the offices, okay, in the offices, in the comfort of the seats in the parliament, okay, and dictate how we citizens should live our lives, okay, without knowing even how to fire a single rifle. I know how to fire a rifle, but you give these politicians, pussified politicians, you give them a rifle, they wouldn't know what to do with it. But yet they dictate that we should go and fight wars. Okay. While they benefit. Okay. We do things at their behest. Okay. Thanks for joining the stream. Very tunes. I really appreciate you joining, subscribing. Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for the support. Yeah, so I mean, these politicians, I really do not speak highly of politicians, especially looking down history. Okay, everything is capitalistic. Okay, everything is the world today is designed by capitalists. Okay, who just want to have some money in their pocket. Okay, the global elite who constitute about 1% of the world's population. Okay, or less than 1% of the world's population have all the wealth, okay, of the world, okay, and dictate how we should live our lives. All right, but anyway, the founding fathers of Africa, okay, Jomo Kenyatta, Gamal Nasser, Thomas Sankara, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and all these, Patrice Lumumba, okay, all these leaders past, okay, had great ambitions for Africa, and the purpose was Africa to unite, okay, and build a strong union, okay, unify, okay, and face the world, because together we can do all things. Divided, we totally fail. Okay, we totally fail. So Dr. Kwame Nkrumah set up Ghana, to be, the warrior king of the African continent. Okay, to go out there, and fight on the behalf of all African people. And so Nana Akufo-Addo, president of Ghana, commemorated the year of return. Okay, for 2019, and he's just following the footsteps of you know the leaders past, primarily Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who set this ball rolling. Okay, that in 1963 he stated, "Today, the freedom of Africa; tomorrow, the United States of Africa." Okay, so the spirit of Nkrumah still lives on. Pan-Africanism is not dead; is alive. Okay, and Africa is taking major steps in uniting. All right. So yeah, this is why you see this happening in Ghana. Elm City, thanks for joining the stream. Very choose you having my UK country, but can't stay. Okay. Thanks for coming through. Very tunes. 1 a.m. Sorry, family. I know it's a bit late for you guys there. I live in Australia, so I just can't find a perfect time to come on. If I come on, it would be really, really late for me. Either it would be really late for me, it would be early for you, or whatsoever. And we'll see. We'll see how we go. Okay, we'll see how we go. My accent is Australian mixed with a bit of British and American, but yeah. Thanks, family. Thank you. You can always catch up on the replay. Okay. East Africa is slowly uniting as well. Yes, exactly. Okay, we have the East African Economic Community, and then we have Congo now joining the East African community as well. So I mean, this is really, really big. Okay, this is major. You have the ECOWAS, you have the North African, the Southern African community as well. I mean, everything is in place. Okay, everything is in place for Africa to unite. Okay, all the steps, all the measures are there. The African Free Trade area is in effect as well. And on the 7th of July, okay, they're going to start trading. On the 7th of July, they're going to start trading. They've already ratified. They've already passed it through legislation. And Ghana was the first country to do that. Ghana and Kenya were the first countries to put it through their legislature. Okay, and pass it as law. Okay, you can cross the borders already. That exists in West Africa with the ECOWAS passport. You can travel through West Africa and do business, whatnot, or stay wherever you want. But I mean, it's big now. It's at an epic, epic environment situation at the moment now for Africa, or stage for Africa now to do better. Okay, so now we're going to be trading amongst ourselves more instead of Nigeria buying toothpick. Niger, come on, Niger. You're buying toothpick. You cannot make toothpick for yourself, and you've been forced to buy toothpicks. Okay, you cannot make toothpaste. I mean, we in Africa, that's why we have like really good teeth, because we chew sticks. Okay, we chew sticks to clean our teeth. Yeah, see how good my teeth is. We don't need to go to dentists. Like, I haven't been to the dentist in a year. Even though I do pay medical insurance that covers my free at least 2 dental visits a year, I hardly go to the dentist because I just brush my teeth and clean my teeth sometimes with the stick, the chewing stick. My mom's got a lot of them. She brought a lot from Ghana. Okay, I clean my teeth with it. We have everything in Africa to sustain ourselves. We don't need to reach to anybody for anything, for anything. So I mean, in my lifetime, I'm very excited. Okay, I'm broadcasting from Australia, but I hope that my future generation would be in Africa, and reaping the benefits of being an African. Although I'd see Australians as Aboriginal Australians as Africans, so I do have an affiliation here as well. Okay, and I'm gonna have two citizenships. One, I'm waiting for the African Union passport. Okay, when the African Union passport comes in, okay, I'm gonna make sure I have my African Union passport, and as well as my Australian passport. Okay, and this is where we're at the moment with my dreams and aspirations. Niger boy, yeah, slowly uniting with Uganda, deporting. What's that? Deportating Rwandans. Okay. Or you mean deporting? Okay. We brought our president. You're talking about toothpicks. Oh, we bought our president. You're talking about toothpicks. All right. Well, this is what I'm saying. Like toothpick, you can make in your country, right? Like you don't need to be importing toothpicks, okay? And Nigeria trades 80% with Europe and elsewhere other than Africa. So we need to change that, okay? The African Free Trade Area is going to make sure that Africa trades within itself first, priority first, okay? Prioritize trade within the continent before we look elsewhere, okay? I get you, brother. No, your boy, I get you. Eric Big Kwesi, Nigerian president is nothing to be proud of. He's a puppet. He's not a good leader. Of course, Eric B. I mean, he during his inauguration, Paul Kagame, threw shots at him, and Paul Kagame talked about corruption. He spoke about corruption. I'm like, ooh, he's really pointing fingers at Buhari there. But someone who reveals a Maybach Mercedes-Benz 2019, $170,000. Okay, even people here in Australia living, a very good life do not even buy such cars. You do not have even the good roads in Nigeria to drive that car on, but you're blowing your country's money. Okay, you're blowing your country's resources. Okay, so I mean, Nigerians really need to wake up. Okay, your country's so blessed. Nigeria is really blessed. The entire continent of Africa is really blessed. And in due course, I'm going to talk more about the African leaders. Okay, it's really not great. With the African leaders. Okay, and they are eager. Okay, but everything will fall in place in due time. All right. So without much ado, I'm going to outline the topics for today. Okay, the Ghana, okay, has been declared more peaceful than the UK. Okay, and that is really epic. Ghana is more peaceful, more stable than the UK. That is really epic. So I'm going to read that. Okay. Another one is, the passing away of former president of Egypt, Mohamed Morsi. Also, we're going to talk about the reparations. I started talking about some of us, and people like Ghana. Okay, people that come from Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone. Okay, all these people are descendants. You can find a significant amount of a significant amount of people coming out of Ghana, Liberia, even Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Gambia, even Mali, okay, Nigeria, having African American descent, especially Ghana being the most, Ghana having the most population for African Americans. These people live there, okay, and have children there, and I'm a prime product of that, okay, because my grandfather, my father lived in Ghana, and gave birth to me in Ghana, and I am of African American descent, okay. So the issue of what's happening in the United States really concerns someone like me, because I always like to link to my ancestry. I love my ancestry so much that I always want to tap into it and every energy, because without my ancestry, I don't know who I am. Okay, it's part of who I am, knowing where I come from, and you have to know your past to know your direction in life to the future. So this is really important for me. Okay, this is very important for me. So we're going to talk about the reparations, the talk of reparations. Okay, historic slavery reparations here in sparks heated debate in the United States, and Donald Trump, okay, has made another outrageous remark, okay, regarding the Central Park Five, a situation that took place in the 1980s or late 1980s, and Donald Trump actually paid for newspapers to bring back the death, to publish, and bring back the death penalty in the United States because it was black people. And this is Donald Trump, the racist Donald Trump. All right, the racist Donald Trump. Okay, this is him. Okay, they questioned him about it, and he had no other comments to make other than add more fuel to the fire. So we'll talk about that. Okay, and the United States is such a bad environment for Black people. Period. Okay, it's such a bad environment for Black people. Period. Should African Americans get reparations? Myself, I'm doing quite well without reparations. Okay, in Australia, I'm doing quite well. Okay, I have my own business. I work, 9 to 5. Okay, I make enough money. I built my own house from the ground, purchasing land, building my own house, a 5-bedroom house. Okay, it's not my dream house yet, but that's my first home I've ever built here in Australia. So I'm doing really, really well in Australia. That's why I promote African Americans, okay, to make their way, especially the very educated African Americans and Africans. Try to make your way to Australia because Australia is growing. Our population is currently just 25 million people, and it's been estimated, or the desire of the government to boost our population, an extra 25 million people by the year 2050. We should be 50 million people here in Australia. So there's plenty of room, there's plenty of space in Australia, there's plenty of development. Come to Australia, try to make your way to Australia. If you're educated, there's plenty of work for you. Okay, and especially people in the medical field. If you study medicine, okay, if you're a doctor, you're a nurse, there's plenty of work for you. Plenty IT, okay, information technology, there's plenty of work for you. So this is the future, okay. Building and construction, okay, this is the future of Australia. So broaden your life beyond your horizon, okay. Look beyond the horizon and make your way to Australia and build, make money, make wealth, take it back to Africa, build, okay, build. And I wouldn't say much about that. I'll just go straight into the articles and we shall discuss. Okay, we should discuss what's going on. Okay, so let's see who else is here. Yeah, Nigerian president is nothing to be proud of. He's a puppet. He's not a good leader, of course. Yeah. Barbara San Blessings. Eric B. Kwesi, many African leaders, they have the inferiority complex. That's why they look towards Europe more than their own people in Africa. And that's sad. Yeah, precisely. Okay. They always feel inferior to the European. They always feel the European is better than them. Okay. And in fact, okay, the European knows that we're better than them in so many ways, so many angles. We can go to Europe and survive. They can come to Africa and survive without the medications and testing on people, right? We populate it everywhere. Okay. Laurie Lawson, thanks for joining the stream. You're from Ghana. Laurie Lawson, with your name, okay, are you like, descending from African American? Laurie Lawson, Ghanaian YouTuber. All right, okay. Thanks for joining the stream. Make sure you subscribe and then I'll follow you back, okay? I am glad you enjoyed your travel to Ghana, Barbara. Yeah, okay. Shout outs to the family. Okay. So yeah, without much ado, I'm gonna read that, okay? And thanks for all the ADOS that have joined the stream. Okay, thank you all for joining the stream. So yeah, I mainly source my news article from web.com and sometimes independent news channel Algeria, South Africa, Kenya, Zambia and stuff like that. But I got all my news today, like from GhanaWeb.com. So and without much ado, I am going to go straight and present my screen. I mean, share my screen and present to you the news articles, and I'll read through them, and then we can discuss later. And yeah, if I have time, okay, I can invite any of you to join me. All right, here we go. So yeah, do you all see me now? Let's see. All right, okay. So yep. Right. So Ghana, peaceful than the UK out of 118 countries. Okay. So this is from Ghana Web. Okay. GhanaWeb.com. Okay. General News, Wednesday, the 19th of June, 2019. Today is 20th of June here in Australia. Okay, and speaking of June, it's going to be the African Cup of Nations, going to be held in Egypt in on the 22nd of June. So in a couple of days. Okay, in a couple of days on the weekend. Okay, so yeah, Ghana peaceful than the UK out of 118 others. Okay, despite its recent security challenges, Ghana has been ranked more peaceful than the UK. And actually, you remember the recent kidnappings in Ghana of the Canadian nationals, some I think some Indian nationals and whatnot, right? Uh, it's all by design, okay? It's all by design, all right, to destabilize the region, okay? In when you go in North Africa, like in Mali, okay, southern Libya, Chad, okay, it's you have the French army, they've based there, okay? The French army have based there. You have the Fulani, okay, attacking the Dogons, okay, in northern Africa, okay. You can question, where do herdsmen, people that herd goats and sheep and cattle, okay, where do they get the guns from? Where are they getting the guns from? So it's a big problem, okay. The When people say that oh, the United States have nothing to do with Africa, okay, when you people like that do not understand history. I'll stop presenting for a little bit and talk about this particular thing, okay. This particular thing, okay, is troubling to me, okay. People these I call these such people, okay, educated fools, okay, educated fools or clowns, okay. uh they say the United States have nothing to do with Africa, okay. But then when you have a look at the past development since 2011, okay, the destabilization of North Africa, okay, by NATO, okay, which is the alliance of Britain and France and all European countries with the United States of America, and you have President Obama, okay, adding fuel to the fire, okay, calling for an Arab Spring. Okay, North Africa was doing so well, even though they had some dictators and long-running presidents or lords or whatever they were. Okay, North Africa was doing well. Egypt was very, very peaceful. Libya was very, very peaceful. Tunisia was very, very peaceful. Morocco was very, very peaceful. Okay, Algeria was very, very peaceful. The whole North Africa was doing really well. Mali was even peaceful. Okay, but they went in there, bombed the hell out of Libya, okay, destabilized Libya and ruined Libya, which had the biggest economy of Africa at the time, ruined Libya, okay, and created all these terrorist groups, moving into Syria, okay, joining ISIS, okay, and now ISIS is being pushed back by Russia, mainly primarily by Russia, not the USA, because the USA wanted Assad out of the way and Russia wanted Assad in the place. Okay, so all these ISIS fighters have nowhere else to go. They've been pushed to the wall. Okay, they're finding exits. Some of them are trying to come back to Australia. Okay, some Australians left Australia to go fight with ISIS. Okay, they sold them a lie. Okay, but they're trying to come back to Australia. Australia saying no, you're not coming back. Okay, but these ISIS fighters are making their way into Africa. The same process the Africans are going by boat to Europe. Okay, the ISIS fighters are making their way into Africa via Libya, coming into the Sahara, giving the guns to the Fulani headsmen, okay, and joining the Fulani headsmen and becoming terrorists. This is why you have your Boko Harams, okay, and the terrorist activities going on in North Africa. And mind you, in North Africa, okay, the French are stationed there and bombing the hell out of North Africa at the moment as we speak. So the fight for terrorism, okay, the new frontier for the fight of terrorism is in North Africa right now. as it's a hiding haven, okay, safe haven for these terrorist groups. Okay. The Sahara Desert, okay, which a lot of people don't know about, okay. But without much ado, okay, all these, okay, is an event leading to what's happening in Africa at the moment. But despite all these things, okay, Ghana was still ranked above the United Kingdom. Okay, and I'm going to show you a map. And of course, Ghana is more peaceful than the USA. I'm going to show you something from the global peace index. Okay, Ghana is green. Okay, very green meaning very peaceful. Okay, and any other color meaning is deteriorating. Okay, so I will show you. I'll go back sharing my screen and then read the articles. I'm trying to move really fast because there's so many grounds to cover. So yeah. So I just thought I'll throw that out there. Okay, and uh, just so that that link is in your mind to see the development of what's happening. Okay, of what's happening. So despite it's I don't know what are my comments. Um, bear with me. I can't see my comments. Right. So yeah, Eric B. The United States is responsible for pushing Kwame Nkrumah out of power by the CIA. That definitely, family, definitely, the CIA is to blame for all the instigations, okay, that went on in Africa. Chief, got a question for you. Um, Niger boy, what is it, family? You can ask any question, okay? Uh, Barbara Sutton, Ghana is Wakanda. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, okay, so. Uh, You happen to be in Kumasi. Okay, cool. So yeah, family, ask me any question. Okay, Chaotic Storm, thanks for joining the stream, family. Thank you. Good to have you here. So yeah, Ghana peaceful than the UK out of 118 countries. Okay, or UK and 118 countries. So despite the recent security challenges, Ghana has been ranked more peaceful than the United Kingdom. Ghana has also been ranked more peaceful than 118 other countries, including. But seriously, why would they want to equate Ghana to countries like Syria, Sierra Leone, Iraq, Somalia. I mean, Ghana is is a developed country. I would say it's still got its poor people here and there, but Ghana's population is like under the 30 million people. A very very small country, very very manageable country, very very diligent citizens and very peaceful. Basically, very happy people. Okay, you cannot even relate Ghana to any of these countries like Syria, Sierra Leone. Ghana is a special country on its own. Okay, you cannot, it should be comparing Ghana to like the United States. Okay, you should be comparing Ghana to like Canada. Not Syria, Sierra Leone, or whatsoever. Ghana is like should be compared to like Singapore and stuff like that. You know, Malaysia and stuff like that. Not Syria, not Sierra Leone. All right, but regardless, okay. So I think this here is flawed. But anyway, Ghana has been ranked more peaceful than 118 other nations, including Syria, Sierra Leone, Iraq, Somalia, South Sudan, Yemen, Panama, Laos. This is according to the 2019 Global Peace Index, which ranked a total of 163 nations around the world. Ghana ranked 44, while the UK ranked 45, with Laos ranking 46, Panama 47. The favorable ranking for Ghana comes barely 2 weeks after the UK updated its traveling advice, warning its citizens coming to Ghana to be of possible terrorism attacks and other crimes. So here, the UK is smearing Ghana for terrorist attacks and stuff like that. Okay, there are no terrorist attacks in Ghana. Okay, there were a group of criminals, Nigerian and local Ghanaian criminals who wanted a bit of money. Okay, and saw that in the avenue of kidnapping some foreigners and asking for ransom. But that has been foiled. These foreigners have been rescued. Okay, and there was an article of the Australian. You would you For those of you who know where Australia is. Okay, Australia is like a day away from everybody. If you're not in Asia, okay, at least Australia is a day's travel for everybody. Okay, it's like 14, 16 hours from Vancouver or Los Angeles to like the east coast of Australia. Flight. The only way you can come to Australia is by either by a really good boat or by air. You cannot walk to Australia. So Australia is really, really far. Australia is very, very stable and peaceful. But can you imagine that Australian mining companies are in Africa? There are over 140 something, almost 150 Australian mining companies in West Africa alone. Okay, so the Australian High Commissioner in Ghana advised Australians to be very, very careful traveling to Ghana and be careful in Ghana. Okay, these people have some balls and nerves. Okay, they're telling you not to come, but they are in Africa making money. They're telling you not to come to Africa, but they are in Africa making lots of money. Can you 140? How many companies then do you think there are of the United States, the UK, Canada, and stuff in Africa making money? This is only Australia. 150 mining companies in Africa, especially Ghana. They're mining a lot of iron ore and gold out of Ghana, and diamonds and manganese and whatnot out of Ghana. These Australians. So they tell you not to come to Africa, but then they are making money out of Africa. They tell you not to go to the Congo, but they are in the Congo making lots of money. So this is the hypocrisy is just crazy. So Ghana ranked 44th, while the UK ranked 45 and Laos ranking 46. The favorite ranking for Ghana comes barely 2 weeks after the UK updated its traveling advice, warning its citizens coming to Ghana of possible terrorism, attacks and other crimes. Interestingly, the UK, which sounded more peaceful in its traveling update, is rather less peaceful as compared to Ghana. So here is a hypocrisy, right? So the UK, which sounded more peaceful in its traveling update, is rather less peaceful as compared to Ghana. And the ranking goes to confirm what a member of the ruling New Patriotic Party, Gabi Ochiri Darko, earlier pointed out as hypocrisy. It's right here. It's hypocrisy on the party of the UK or the United Kingdom. He said the United Kingdom or the UK claimed to be peaceful even though it had experienced real terrorist attacks, which Ghana have not suffered. Okay, Ghana has never had a terrorist, activity. Okay, even though Ghana has had some coup d'etats in the past, okay, but Ghanaians have not taken arms and in insurrection and civil war and stuff like that. Ghana is very, very peaceful. Ghanaians know how to deal. Okay, they know how to deal. Right. In the 2019 Global Peace Index, Iceland ranked as the most peaceful nation in the world. Placing second was New Zealand, and New Zealand actually had a terrorist activity, killing 50 people in a mosque. But mind you, like I've been in New Zealand before. It's very, very beautiful. Prior to the terror, I was in New Zealand in 2011 for almost a month in New Zealand. Very, very beautiful. I traveled from North Island, around North Island, South Island. I traveled all through there, and my family lived in the southernmost part of New Zealand, in Invercargill. So I went to see all those places. Very, very cold places, but very peaceful, very loving. I'm backpacking through New Zealand. I backpacked through Japan, Korea, Thailand, Cambodia. Okay, nothing happened to me. Okay, I'm right here. Very, very peaceful places. Okay, but these people had terrorist activities, but Ghana didn't have any. Ghana didn't have any terrorist activities, right? So again, so placing second was New Zealand, with Portugal taking the third slot. New Zealand's second position is despite the terrorist attack in the Christchurch Mosque, which left about 50 persons dead. Authors of the Global Peace Index underscored that New Zealand had improved other scores, and developed a resilience to cope with such disasters. And mind you, there are a lot of earthquakes in New Zealand. A population of only 4 million people. The whole island is very uninhabitable. Um, you know, it's only about less than 20% of the entire, maybe less than 10% of South Island is habitable because of or because of the the mountain ranges and the terrain, right? But majority of New Zealand's population is in the North Island, which is a bit warmer and stuff like that. But New Zealand has a lot of natural defects, okay, well, earthquakes and natural disasters and stuff like that. But but the people are very, very peaceful. Okay, they're very, very peaceful. Okay, so but yeah, so they've really developed a sense of resilience and coped with the disasters. They had a series of very devastating earthquakes and stuff like that in the past, and stuff like that. So they've done really well. So Austria placed fourth in the ranking, with Denmark coming fifth. African and Middle Eastern nations generally performed poorly. Okay, so this is always what they like to push out. African and Middle Eastern nations generally perform poorly. Okay, so just to get you not to go to Africa, but Africa is like the most beautiful place on the planet. Okay, north, south, east, west, very beautiful, bar none. Okay. According to the report, Europe remains the most peaceful region in the world, and it's recorded a slight improvement in the peacefulness after several years of deterioration. I mean, Europe, which had the bloodiest continent on the planet, okay, the bloodiest continent, okay, Europe is the most peaceful place. It's a joke, right? It's a joke. This is a joke. I'll be very, very worried, okay, if I were living in Europe. I'll be so worried, right? But yeah. Um, it said, however, despite these improvements, the broader political environment in Europe remains uncertain. Okay, okay. So if you're living in the political environment in Europe remains uncertain. Okay, if you're living in a place where the political environment is uncertain, how is that a peaceful place? How do you have a peace of mind? Okay, I mean, big crazy. Just Chicago alone has more murders than the entire country of Ghana every year. No, I think Chicago alone has enough murders like for the entire continent of Africa. I'll be honest. Okay, in one weekend, okay, 100 people lose their lives in Chicago. 100 people every weekend. Okay, every weekend, especially Saturdays, there's always a shooting. At least 20 people will die a night in Chicago. And when you're coupling the police brutality, okay, the police kill over 1,000 people every year. Okay, and actually, let's see, the police. You can actually go to Google and put in and type in the police killing. Okay, police killing. Uh, uh, Police killing in the USA. Let's see. Uh, Police killing count. Police killing count in the USA. In the USA 2019. Okay, you'll be surprised. Over 500 people have died. 2019. Sorry, typo. 2019. Okay, I'll quickly show you this. Okay, police shooting database. There's actually, see, it's almost 500 people. Okay, I'm not lying to you. 425 people have died so far. Okay, June. This is only June, and this is like summer. Summer is coming. There's going to be a lot of people acting out. Okay, a lot of people are going to be out there. We're going to hear. We've already started hearing the police killings already. Okay, They've already shot an unarmed black man already. There's been protests. Okay, 425 people have been killed by police. So if this doesn't scare you in the United States, I don't know what else would. But you don't hear that in Ghana. You don't hear that in Ghana. So I mean, yeah. So yeah. So it said, however, despite these improvements, the broader political environment in Europe remains uncertain, with Brexit and all that happening, with France, with the yellow vests and stuff like that. You know, and resurgent nationalism and terrorism remain significant threats to peace. So if you live in Europe, okay, and these things are looming over your head, okay, like a cloud following you, terrorism, nationalism, okay, racism, whatnot, okay, over your head in Europe. How does Europe remain the peaceful region in the world? How can Europe be the peaceful region in the world when we know just about 100 years ago, okay, World War One, okay, World War Two, about 60 plus years ago, okay, right? It's just outstanding. It's just crazy, ridiculous how these people can boast of being the peaceful region in the world when you should be living your life in fear each day in Europe, because things can go haywire anytime in Europe. So I mean, yeah, this is BS, right? So yeah, all praise to Ghana, okay, for maintaining the peace, for maintaining the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, okay, for being the gateway to Africa, promoting, being the warrior king, okay, being the warrior king as the name resonates, okay, Ghana, the warrior king, okay, tapping into the energy of the Ghana Empire, you know, it's great. Ghana is great, okay, Ghana is great. Ghana is great, promoting Pan Africanism through the Caribbeans, through the Americas. You know, signing deals with Guyana, Jamaica. Now you can fly people from Jamaica can fly to Ghana without visa. Okay, without visa. They're talking about exchanging medical personnel as well. Technology and stuff like that. Okay, this is great for the African diaspora. All right, this is great. All right. So yeah, kudos to Ghana. Okay, kudos to Ghana and all Ghanaians. Thanks for maintaining the peace and keeping Ghana up high. Okay, Barbara, Mitch McConnell just said we gave you a black president. Why do you need reparations? Right, I'll get to that. Okay, I'll get to that, family. Barbara, I'll get to that. All right. So who else is here? Nigel Boy, do you think democracy form of government is for every country? Do you think it works for all countries? What do you what do you think about the monarch or military rule? I don't think any country should be ruled by the military, um, but I believe in the monarch. Okay, the monarchy. I believe in kingdoms. Okay, Africa has always thrived with kingdoms. Okay, for thousands of years before there was any other civilizations on this planet. Thousands of years, Africa has survived with just monarchs. Okay, Europeans came with the philosophy of democracy through Greece and stuff like that. Okay, and democracy basically is the government for the people by the people. But evidently, is it? Is it? Can you actually say the United States government is a government by the United States, the people of the United States, and for the United States, people of the United States? Of course not. Okay, democracy, what it does is it tears a rift. Okay, there are people. When you look at the war against Iraq, okay, the Iraq war, okay, about what was the percentage? I think about 56% of Americans voted to go to the war, and then you have 44% voting no to go to the war. So only a small minority of people can decide the direction of the country. Okay, but when you have a monarchy, okay, it's different. It's completely different. Okay, you have a kingdom. It's completely different. Okay, but then you can have your tyrants. But tyrants come in all forms of government. So I feel we're moving on. I mean, in 2019, who needs a king? Who needs a king? Yeah, Nigel boy, democracy is only on paper, right? Democracy is only on paper. In reality, two different things. Exactly. When you the West likes to, paint a broad brush about, socialism and stuff, but they always employ socialism tactics or strategies in dealing with citizens. Okay, when you have your healthcare, your and other benefits, perks as a citizen, these are all socialist reforms. Okay, in a capitalistic world, okay, it only benefits the rich. That's why you have your Warren Buffett, you have your Bill Gates, and all the billionaires. Okay, it's only benefits a select group of people. They make money at the expense. So you have your slave trade and all these things came out of capitalism, okay, in the name of democracy. Okay, so they sell you the lie of democracy, but then it's actually the capitalists, okay, that control the government. The capitalists, they control the government. How can one man be sitting on, $100 billion just sitting in the bank? $100 billion. How can one man be doing that? I mean, how much can you eat? How much can you eat? So, I mean, democracy is only a mask. Okay, it's only a mask. It does not work for every country. When you look at China, okay, China is like number one, world number one now. Okay, and they don't. You might say it's a dictatorship, but I think it's called unity. Okay, unity. The Chinese understand unity. Okay, they understand how to be united and how to do things in unity. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, it's not a communist country. Of course, you're gonna have people that wouldn't side with the Chinese government or that, but when you look at the performance of China, when you look at the track record, is China doing well? Hell yeah, China is doing really really well. Okay, China is doing really really well. So you can't there's no you know there's no good and bad. Okay, it's you just go with whatever works. So the West promoting democracy, thinking is the best way forward. When you have a democratic country like the U.S. and you have police killings going up in number, by the day. 425 people killed by the police in 2019. We're only halfway through 2019 and 425 people have been killed. Can you imagine by the end of 2019 how many more people are going to be killed by the police? I mean, come on. This is a joke, right? So I mean, democracy is not our way. It's not the African way. Okay. The African way is socialism. Okay. The African form of government is socialism, right? So yeah, evidently, okay, this is what we have. Okay. This is what we have. I'll show you the global peace index. Okay, the global peace index measures the GPI measures the relative position of nations and regions' peacefulness. The GPI ranks 163 independent states and territories, 99.9%, 99.7% of the world's population, according to their levels of peacefulness. In the past decade, the GPI has presented trends of increased global violence and less peacefulness. Okay, so the trend is that the world is becoming less and less peaceful, especially in countries like the United States, countries like especially Europe. Okay, Africa is becoming more peaceful, and these people are going to shits. Okay, you have Mexico like in red. I'll blow this up in a minute. So GPI is a report produced by Institute of Economics and Peace. So again, so where there's peace, there's economics. Okay, so that's what Abiy Ahmed is doing. Okay, Abiy Ahmed, I applaud him. Okay, Kenya, the president of Kenya as well, Uhuru Kenyatta, all these people are champions. Okay, I think Uhuru Kenyatta studied economics or something like that, and yeah, they know what time it is. Okay, they know these people know what time it is. Yeah, so uh, the GPI is a report produced by the Institute of Economic and Peace. So where there's peace, okay, there's economic growth, okay, and developed in consultation with an international panel of peace experts from peace institutes and think tanks, with data collected and collated by the Economist Intelligence Unit. The index was first launched in May 2007, with subsequent reports being released annually. In 2017, it ranked 163 countries, up from 121 in 2007. The study was conceived by Australian technology entrepreneur Steve Kilalia and is endorsed by individuals such as former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, the late Kofi Annan, the Dalai Lama, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, former President of Finland, and 2008 Nobel Peace Prize laureate Marty Ahtisaari. I'm surprised Barack Obama is not here. Barack Obama is not here, but of course we know. Okay, he promotes more gay people than the global peace. Okay, Nobel laureate Mohammed Yunus, economist Jeffrey Sachs, former President of Ireland Mary Robinson, former Deputy Secretary General of the United States Jan Eliasson, and former United States President Jimmy Carter. The update index is released, and Jimmy Carter has gone down, I think, one of the least favorite presidents of the United States. But he did a great deal. Okay, during the time of Jimmy Carter. Okay, he really helped a lot of African nations and stuff like that. The updated index is released each year at events in London, Washington D.C., and the United States Secretariat in New York. So yeah, the 2019 GPI index indicates Iceland, New Zealand, Portugal, Austria, and Denmark to be the most peaceful countries, and Afghanistan, Syria, South Sudan, Yemen, and Iraq to be the least peaceful. Long-term findings of the 2017 GPI include a less peaceful world over the past decade. So, I mean, this is very, very significant. Okay, pay attention to this. So, the findings in 2017 said the world is going to shit. Okay, so the world is not as peaceful as it used to be. So yeah, there's a lot of things stirring up. Now. So yeah, you have it, right? Especially the USA. Okay, it's gonna go to shit in the USA. Babylon is gonna fall, right? So yeah, be mindful. Okay, make sure you have your passports ready when shit hits the fan. Okay, make your way out. Sniff it out. Okay, sniff it out and make your way out. Okay, before it's too late for you, right? Okay, this is why it's important to build the bridge. Okay, build a bridge with Africa. Okay, especially Ghana. Now you see why African Americans love to go to Ghana. Okay, now you see why Dynast. Okay, Dynast. Now you see why African Americans love to go to Ghana. Okay, because Ghana is peaceful. Arabic Kwesi. Libya was thriving, not terrorism, until they got rid of Gaddafi. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Arabic Kwesi recently. That was Niger boy. Arabic Kwesi recently. Ghana's president went to the islands. He said that. Let's see. Okay. Recently, Ghana's president went to the islands. He said that he would waive visa for Jamaicans and people from islands to enter Ghana, but yet still people like Danis still hating on Ghana. Yeah, I don't think Danis hates Ghana. I mean, he just has what's it called? Discontent. Okay, he's just not well pleased with Ghana. He loves Ghana. He's been in Ghana. I mean, he loves it there, but he's just not in terms of the potential of Ghana. Okay, the potential of Ghana is huge, but Ghana is not delivering. Okay, so that I think that's Danis has been a salesperson before. He's been a sales marketer. So Ghana is not taking bigger steps in terms of where it should be. With a population of 25 million people, Ghana should be like Singapore right now. We have all the natural resources in Ghana to do really well. Okay, to do very, very, very well. Whereas in Nigeria, despite the corruption and all that, okay, you can still make a lot of money in Nigeria. So Dynast is looking at things like that. Okay, but Ghana, you cannot make a lot of money in Ghana because of the corruption. Okay, because of the corruption and the passivity. Okay, I think Ghanaians are a little bit passive. Okay, how can you discover oil? Okay, in 8 years you've been drilling oil in Ghana. The total revenue generated from the oil is over $24 billion, and all that Ghana can get from that $24 billion is only $4 billion, less than 20%. And in fact, it's 16.3% or something like that. Whereas the European countries drilling for this oil took away over 80%, 84%, or 83.7%. The total revenue generated from drilling oil since 2011 in Ghana. So I mean, this is not good for business, and this is not good for development. So this is what the Ghanaians need to pay attention to. Okay, the leaders, Ghanaian leaders, are being sellouts. Okay, they're selling the country away. Yeah, but despite that, Ghanaians are very peaceful. Okay, and things can change. Okay, things can change. All right. Thanks. So I was very happy. They did the independent review on the oil in Ghana. Okay, and stuff like that. So yeah. So here is the map for the Global Peace Index. Okay, the Global Peace Index. You have here Ghana in green. Okay, Ghana in green. All the areas in green means peace. Okay, there's relative peace. You have the United States not peaceful at all. Okay, in yellow. Okay, or less peaceful than Ghana. You have Benin, very, very peaceful. You have Chile, very, very peaceful. You have Peru, and I'm not sure of this country here, Bolivia, very, very peaceful. You have Panama. Panama is here, very peaceful. Mexico, not peaceful at all. Okay, Mexico, not peaceful at all. I think this might be Colombia. I'm not sure. I think this is Guyana. I'm not sure what this country is. But yeah, see, Alaska, because Alaska is part of the USA, not peaceful at all. You have Canada is very peaceful. Greenland, Iceland, very peaceful. You have the Ireland of all countries, very peaceful. Much Portugal, very, very peaceful. You have Morocco, very peaceful. You have even Liberia. Liberia is peaceful, family. Liberia is peaceful. So African Americans, okay, this is the time for you to go. Liberia, Sierra Leone, very peaceful places. Okay. You have I think this is Equatorial Guinea, very peaceful. You have I think this is Namibia, very peaceful. Even Angola is peaceful. This is Botswana, very peaceful. Eswatini, very peaceful. South Africa is not peaceful at all. Definitely not Zimbabwe. You have Uganda, peaceful. You have Rwanda, peaceful. You have Tanzania, peaceful. Madagascar is peaceful, family. You have Mauritius, very, very peaceful. You know, you have Yemen, not peaceful at all. Saudi Arabia, not peaceful. Libya, of course, in red. This whole middle belt here, Congo. You can see how this whole place, okay, it's full of natural resources, and you see why it's not peaceful, right? Sudan, okay, both Sudan North and South Sudan. Nigeria is not peaceful. Okay, Nigeria is not peaceful at all. Dynast. Okay, so someone pass the news to Dynast. Okay, someone pass the news to Dynast. Right. You have Mongolia and Kazakhstan or whatever. And much of Europe. Okay, much of Europe. Greece is not very peaceful. Okay, so I mean, so you African Americans going to Greece for your holidays, okay, you're safer in Ghana. Okay, no joke. You're safer in Ghana. You'll be safe in Greece, right? Um, I mean, New Zealand, Australia, very peaceful. Indonesia, all the Polynesian islands, very, very peaceful. Thailand is quite peaceful. Although when I was traveling, no, no, not Thailand. Vietnam. Vietnam is peaceful. Thailand, I was gonna say when I was traveling through Thailand, people were holding AK-47s on their motorbikes. This is a bit crazy, right? They're holding AK-47s on their motorbikes. So I'm just like, oh, geez, okay. But Thailand is a very beautiful place. Okay, people are peaceful, I think. Pakistan is not. Okay, Afghanistan is not. Uh, Definitely Israel is not peaceful. Okay, Israel is not. Cyprus is peaceful. Turkey is not peaceful. So I mean, be considerate. Okay, if you want to travel to Africa, okay, go to Africa and have a good time. Senegal is peaceful. Gambia is very peaceful. Go to Africa and have a good time. Enjoy Africa. Right, Africa is beautiful. Right. Where do you want to go? Namibia is very, very beautiful, right? So yeah, this is the global peace index. Okay, uh, this is the map. So yeah, um, the next segment is to talk about Mohamed Mercy. Okay, the situation in Egypt at the moment. Egypt is prospering. Okay, after the Arab Spring, which brought in this president Mohamed Mercy. Um, you know there's a picture of him in prison. Okay, he was arrested by the general El Sisi, who is now the president of Egypt. Okay, he staged a coup d'etat a few years back. Okay, and removed Mohamed Mersi from office because this man here, okay, was a sellout. For those of you who are a big question, America should be in the red. Yeah, definitely America should be in the red. Okay, America is a war zone, family. um Niger boy, I trust my Nigerian people. We on all the bad charts, corruption, terrorism, poorest, you name it. Yeah, this is why we do this, family. Niger boy, this is why we do this, and we can change things. Okay, this is why Wadamaya is doing his videos, his tours in Nigeria, and promoting that Nigeria can be peaceful, but you have 200 million people and you have half the population, so 100 million people in abject poverty. Okay, there won't be peace. So there needs to be redistribution of wealth in Nigeria, and they need to clamp down on corruption, okay, in Nigeria, and there's going to be peace, right? Because Nigeria is so prosperous, so rich. Okay, when you talk about Nigeria, it's only money that comes. Money, money, money. Okay, Nigeria is the money. Okay, it's only money that comes to mind, and very, very economic savvy, and very, very, business minded. Okay, and we all love that about Nigerians, but only half of you are enjoying the fruit of Nigeria, where the other half are suffering. So it's not a very good look for Nigeria in that context. But we all love Nigerians. Okay, my best mate is Nigerian, by the way. So, yeah. Yeah. So the next segment is another article from GhanaWeb.com. Mohamed Mercy, Egypt accuses UN of politicizing the death of Mohamed Mercy. Okay. So Egypt has. So I was saying before that Mohamed Mercy was put in place. Okay, the stage was set for Mohamed Mercy. The United States wanted to control or Europe wanted to control the Mediterranean because of the growing power of Africa. What's his name? Libya basically controlled the Mediterranean at the time. Okay, Libya was the most powerful nation at the time in North Africa. Okay, so they destabilized Libya. That was the United States under President Obama and Hillary Clinton. Okay, destabilized Libya, went to bomb Libya, and it started all these rebel fighters who moved on from Libya to join the ISIS and started fighting Syria. So the ploy was to create an Arab Spring, okay, or angry Muslims, okay, to form an Arab state, okay, in North Africa, Mediterranean, in so-called Middle East, which is an extension of North Africa. Okay, okay, and they branched off the agenda of the United States, okay, to remove Assad, and the main purpose of removing Assad was to build a pipeline, okay, an oil pipeline from Saudi Arabia through Syria, okay, into Europe. Okay, but Syria was in the way because that's going to destabilize Russia's economy if that pipeline is built. So this war in Syria is based on economics, okay, by these globalist elites and capitalists. So you need to really sit down and analyze this critically. Okay, so this is what's going on. So when you see what happened in Egypt, okay, they had the Arab Spring. Jose Mubarak was removed. Okay, and then Mohamed Messi took office. Okay, Mohamed Messi was backed by the USA, and during the time of Mohamed Messi, okay, the United States gave 80 fighter jets and tanks to Egypt and give them some money as well, right? And give them some money as well. And guess what? Mercy was planning an invasion on Syria. Okay, Mercy was planning an invasion on Syria. So you have all the terrorist groups moving to Egypt. Okay, it was the worst time in Egyptian history. You know, everything, economic growth had slowed down. Tourism in Egypt had slowed down. Nothing was going right in Egypt during this guy's term, during Mohamed Mercy's term. Okay, and Dr. Mumbi did a stream on him, and Dr. Mumbi seemed a little bit oblivious of what's going on, and I was very surprised. I think at this point, okay, Dr. Mumbi is just doing things just for publicity. Okay, she didn't do any proper research, and I'm not taking away, I'm not detracting from the success of Dr. Mumbi, but she should have done a bit more research on this man here. Okay, and I know Dr. Mumbi is very religious and all that, but you know, Mohamed Messi, under the time of Mohamed Messi, the terrorists and the ISIS groups were thriving in Egypt. Okay, they were killing Christians left and right. They were bombing churches left and right. They were destroying African artifacts. Okay, left and right, because that's what these angry Muslims do. Okay, and it was during the time of Mohamed Messi, and the biggest ploy of all, okay, the biggest ploy or scheme was to empower Egypt, so Egypt deploys troops and fighters to Syria. Okay. It was all a scheme by the United States, and you know, if you didn't catch it, okay, you need to go back and do your research, because that's what it was. That's what was happening. So General Al-Sisi, okay, staged a coup d'etat. Okay, the military staged a coup d'etat and took Mohamed Messi out of power because he was getting out of hand. He was becoming a tyrant. He was becoming a tyrant. Okay, during his time of office, he jailed so many people. So many people. The articles, nothing. These things, the news about Mohamed Messi didn't skip me at all. I make sure I was glued. Okay, I was glued to the news happening in Egypt. Right. So a lot of people waking up to the fact now that Mohamed Messi died in prison. Oh, it's a bad thing. No, 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 no. It's all a scheme. It's all a scheme. Egypt is prospering now. Tourism is returned in Egypt. Egypt is now the president of Egypt is now the chairman of the African Union. Okay. I mean, there's a whole lot happening with Egypt, pushing Africa forward. Okay. Than how Dr. Mumbi made it sound. But you know, as Dr. Mumbi, she doesn't favor anyone really. So yeah, I left a comment on Dr. Mumbi's video. I hope she gets to see it, and I hope we can address it. Okay, so Mohamed Mercy, Egypt accuses UN of politicizing death. Okay, Egypt has lashed out at the United Nations for politicizing the death of the country's first democratically elected president, Mohamed Mercy. So Dr. Mumbi, in one breath, says the United Nations is an evil organization which is not in the best interest of Africa. Okay, and then she basically talked down or down talked on the Egyptian president and belittled the Egyptian president being a globalist, whatnot. But here you don't see the Egyptian president, you know, dealing with the UN at all in regards to this matter. Okay, so I don't see what Dr. Mumbi is talking about. Okay, but yeah. The UN called for an investigation on Tuesday after Morsi collapsed and died during a court appearance this week. When you look at Morsi, okay, when you see him in person, he's overweight. Okay, he looked like he's someone who probably reached his life span. Okay, he's overweight. He has a gut that is can swallow a whale. Okay, if I'm not exaggerating, he's really fat. He was fat when he took office. Okay, someone like that could. For one time, I thought he was going to have a heart attack and pass out during one of his campaigns. Okay, I thought he was going to have a heart attack and pass out because he was really fat. But they do not put into consideration his health, factors. He wasn't a very healthy person to start with. Okay, he wasn't a healthy person to start with. So, in a statement, Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Hafez condemned the suggestion, insisting it was a case of natural death. Of course, it was a natural death. I believe it was a case of natural death because this guy has reached his lifespan because he was unhealthy. Morsi had been in custody since his removal in 2013 military coup. His family have long raised concerns over his treatment in prison and say that the authorities refused a request for him to be buried in his hometown. The former leader was instead laid to rest in eastern Cairo early on Tuesday morning, reportedly under tight security. And per the Islamic custom, if someone dies, they buried the very same day. Okay, Mr. Hafez accused. So how are you going to perform an autopsy or investigation when the person has been buried? This person has already been buried. So he added that any suggestion of foul play was not based on any evidence. Okay, so yeah. So sorry, I missed this bit. Mr. Hafez accused the UN of trying to obscure the institutions of the Egyptian state and integrity for Egyptian judiciary. And if you look back in the past, okay, the UK, okay, invaded Egypt because they did not respect the Egyptian state, and they did not respect the integrity of Egypt. Okay, just because Egypt want to nationalize the Suez Canal, they invaded Egypt. So these people don't respect Africans, right? He added that any suggestion of foul play was not based on any evidence. A statement earlier this week from the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights pointed to Egypt's obligations to treat its prisoners humanely. Concerns have been raised regarding the conditions of Mr. Morsi's detention, including access to adequate medical care as well as sufficient access to his lawyers and family during his nearly 6 years in custody. A spokesman for the office said he also appears to have been held in prolonged solitary confinement. Morsi died while appearing in court on spying charges. He was already facing decades in jail after being convicted in previous trials in separate charges. A forensic report has been ordered into his death. His former party, the now banned Muslim Brotherhood, okay, so the Muslim Brotherhood has been banned, okay, because it's a terrorist organization, and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, a close ally of Morsi, among those who have blamed Egyptian leaders for his death. Of course, they're going to do that, okay, because the idea was, okay, when you look at Turkey, Turkey has been armed to the teeth by the United States. Turkey has nuclear weapons, okay, given to them by the United States, okay, and they wanted to use that against Assad. Okay, so you can see this thing going on here. Okay, the Morsi Erdogan was friends with Morsi, and they were going to join hands to fight Assad. They were going to join hands to fight Assad. So you see Turkey in the northern border of Syria, and you see you're going to be seeing, well, we're going to be seeing the Egyptian warships at the shores of Syria. If it wasn't for Russia, this would have gone down. Okay, so yeah, human rights groups, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, have also called for independent investigation into Mercy. But they can do it. Okay, they can do it. But I bet it will come down to a natural death, because Mohammed Mercy was overweight. Okay, he was overweight. He was obese, and I'm surprised he didn't die of heart attack. Okay, so yeah, it was during the time of Mohammed Mercy. They were deliberating in the Egyptian parliament to do airstrikes on Ethiopia. Okay, these the Muslim Brotherhood wanted to conduct airstrike on Ethiopia and destroy the dam on the Nile, the Renaissance Dam on the Nile. So I mean, people have no idea what they're talking about, right? People have no idea, especially Dr. Mumbi. I was very disappointed about Dr. Mumbi's news article on Mohammed Mercy and how he slandered the Egyptian president. But yeah, Dr. Mumbi will do what Dr. Mumbi does. All right. So the next segment, okay, takes me to my final segment. Okay. You know, I'll do that one first. Okay. Donald Trump has something to say, but I'll go to the historic slavery reparations thingy. So let me come out for a bit before I continue. Right. Let me come out for a bit before I continue. You've joined me, Chief Joanna. Yeah, I am live. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. This is what I do. Okay, I promote Pan-Africanism, the global unification of everyone of African descent. So yeah, basically, uh, whenever I read a news article concerning Africa, I point out the obvious, I dissect it, okay, and we decipher and bring out the best possible understanding of what these people are saying, right? Uh, and all the global events, everything concerning Africa and how things will be playing out in the coming future. So it's very, very necessary that we understand exactly what's going on in our world, okay, relating to Africa. Everyone knows that Africa is the future. So yeah, everything is gearing towards the development of Africa, okay, into the new phase. Okay, so let me know your dream. Please like if you haven't liked it already. Like the stream if you're new. Please subscribe. Okay, please subscribe. So I will without much ado, I'll go back. Okay, an excuse to have a drink. Um, I'll have a just had a drink. I'll go back into sharing my screen. Okay, and we should talk about the reparations. Okay, we know 2019. Okay, for people like myself. Okay, I love history. Okay, I love history. There's one thing about knowing history. Okay, and understanding history is a different ballgame. Okay, understanding history is a completely different ballgame. Okay, uh, you know, people know history, but they do not understand why these events took place. Okay, as far as I know, okay, this goes deeper. Okay, the African has existed for so many years. Okay, Egypt reached its pinnacle in 3,000 years before any other civilization started. Okay, before Greece, before Mesopotamia, before anything else. Okay, the Egyptians, the African civilization had already reached the apex. Okay, where they could just and traverse the stars. Okay, they know so much. They knew so much about our universe. Okay, without even building a spaceship. Okay, this is the height of the African, intelligence. I don't know what else to say. Okay, or spirituality, or the African civilization. The height at which the Africans got in terms of development. And so I heard somewhere that the whole world is planned by the African. Okay, when it got to that height where they saw themselves as gods. Okay, okay, then they wanted to rewrite their history. So what's happening to Africans at the moment is Africans rewriting their history. Okay, well, everything is not by coincidence. Everything is by design. Okay, according to the information that I have. Okay, everything is by design. Everything is in play as intended for it to play. Okay. So okay, we are entitled to our own destinies. We are entitled to whatever we want to do with our lives. Okay, so it's up to you to go with the system or develop your own system and play ball your way. Okay, play ball your way. Take matters into your own hands. Okay, prevent a vicious cycle and create something new. Okay, so this is the African. Okay, this is the African. So everything that's happening, someone says that before anything happens to you, you have to be responsible for it. You have to allow it. Okay, you have to allow it. It's a saying in Africa that if something should attack you, you have to it. Okay, for an animal to bite you, it must be in your clothing. You must allow this animal in your clothing to bite you. Okay, so you might be the cause of it. So everything that's happening to Africa, okay, Africans are the cause of it. Okay, we need to really understand that, right? So things are changing. So Africa is rewriting its history, and we should see where Africa gets to. Okay, we built the pyramids. Okay, we got to that height. Okay, let's see if we can do it again. And I'm very sure we can do it again, right? We can do it again. So yeah, I have deep faith in the African Union in the future coming forward. So I mean, everything is in play. Okay, everything is in play for the global renaissance of the African power, the African superpower, right? So I'm going to share my screen again, and we'll go back. So that was a little break. Yeah. So people like me, okay, people like me who knows my history, okay. I know my family come from Virginia, okay, and when you see the when you look at the history, when you look at the history of slavery, okay, the first ship or recorded um, or documented slavery, okay, or of the transatlantic slavery, okay, the first documented slave arrived in Jamestown, Virginia in 16 what was it, 1669? I forgot the date now. 1619. Sorry, 1619. Okay, if I'm not wrong. So much running through my head right now, but 1619, Jamestown, Virginia. Okay, marking 400 years now. Okay, and as Ghana has taken a step, the president of Ghana has taken a step to commemorate 400 years of the slave trade. Okay, and asking our family to come back home, the year of return. People can speculate whatever they think. They think that Ghana is promoting this for tourism. Sorry, not terrorism, tourism or economic benefits. But mind you, there are over 60,000 African Americans living in Ghana. 60,000. We're talking about the entire continent of the Americas. We're talking about the Caribbeans. We're talking about South America. We're talking about North America. Okay. Over 60,000. Some people say 80,000 African Americans living in Ghana, right? Living in Ghana. And when I say African Americans, I'm not talking about people of African descent in the United States alone. Okay, I'm talking of the entire continent of the Americas, right? So it just makes it ideal for African Americans to go to Ghana, right? So so marking the 400 year of since the African American was taken to the Americas or to the United States, specifically United States, the issue of reparations has sprouted. Was it last year? Childish Gambino released a video called "This is America," basically pointing out America. The video started off in a warehouse. I have a video on this. Okay, I have a video on this on my channel. This is America. Okay, and it's saying that I try to be elaborate, as much as possible, but limit it to 10 minutes. Okay, the whole thing was America was an industrial complex. No matter how you think, okay, America was made by the globalist, capitalists to make money. They wanted free labor. Okay, so they went to Africa, kidnapped Africans, tortured them, and made them into slaves. Okay, basically, this is the story. Okay, There's nothing glamorous about the United States. Okay, they've never apologized. The Australian Prime Minister apologized to Aboriginal people. Okay, people are saying, oh, the chiefs from Ghana or West Africa have apologized for slavery, but the question is, why are they apologizing? I say they're apologizing so they welcome their people back home. But when you have a country like the United States, they don't want to apologize for slavery, because when they apologize for slavery, okay, they need to pay compensation. And this is why they haven't done that. And this is why they will not do that. Okay. So from the senator's own mouth, okay. See, look at his sad face here. Look at his sad face. Okay, this is his sad face here. Okay, I'm gonna read to you exactly what he said. Okay, and the situation looming around the reparations. Okay, the reparations talk. So the first congressional hearing. So again, this article from Ghana Web. Okay, I got all these articles from Ghana Web. Okay, GhanaWeb.com. I mean, I was overwhelmed by the news coming out of GhanaWeb.com. Okay, again, World News, Wednesday the 19th. Okay, historic slavery reparations hearing sparks heated debate. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell opposes reparations. Okay, so Barbara, if you're still here, this is the article you were referring to. Okay, I've read this. Okay, uh, basically, look at his sad face. Right, he said no, because I'm gonna read through. Okay, but basically, say it's gonna divide. It's gonna further divide. As if there's no divide. Okay, it's gonna divide. Put a divide in America. Okay, so here you have white people with wealth, and then black people with no wealth. But then black people are now going to have wealth, and white people are going to be saying, why are there black people with wealth? Why must a black person have more wealth than me? So it's going to spark a lot of civil unrest. Okay, white people are going to come out of their woodworks. Okay, this is how America was structured. Okay, to disenfranchise black people. Okay, to empower white people. Okay, America was not designed for black people to have a good time. Okay, I know Amin Ra was on Dinah's channel, and he was saying that, oh, America was built for everyone to have land of the free, home of the brave. That's a damn lie. Okay, America was built for capitalism, Jewish people to make money. Okay, for Jewish people to make money. It wasn't built for anyone to have freedom and whatnot. Okay, it wasn't built for that. It was just rescued. Okay, during the Civil War, okay, Americans came together and fought the British king. The reason why Britain established the the United States, okay, or the Americas, was to extend their wealth. Okay, keep it in a safe place. That's why they went around murdering all the natives. Okay, that's why they called it the New World for them. And as you know, Britain is a small island, under threat of global warming. Okay, London will be gone. London will be gone in the next 1,000 years. Okay, London will be under the ocean. So these people are looking for new lands. Okay, they know this. They've been planning this for ages. Okay, so a black man has no place in the United States, has no place in the Americas. It wasn't designed for you. Although we were there first. Okay, we were there first. Evidently, the Olmec heads. Okay, we were there first. Black people were all over the world. Okay, you can't be a human being without being an African. Okay, Africans were all over the world. But then guess what? The Mongoloids came in, either bred the black people out or murdered them all. Okay, either bred with them or murdered them all, and there's evidence showing that. Okay, so the United States was not designed for any black person. It was an industrial complex. Okay, where globalist elites can make money. All right, money and free money, and they did by enslaving our ancestors. Right. So when we look at 1619, okay, this is why my DNA points out to Morocco, North Africa, right? Mainly North Africa. I do have some Iberian ancestry, like Portuguese, Spanish, Um, half, my grandfather was said to be half German. But when I did, I had like, very little German ancestry, but mainly North African, Morocco, Algeria. Okay, so these people there, okay, when America was established in the 1500s, 1400s, okay, the slaves were not coming from West Africa, okay, they were coming from North Africa. That's where the slaves were coming from. Okay, the slaves from pushed back from Spain and Portugal. Okay, those North Africans pushed back from Spain and Portugal. They were captured as slaves and sent to the Americas to work as prisoners. Okay, and I can see my ancestry coming from that, since from Virginia. Okay, from Virginia. But yeah. So yeah, that resonates a lot with me. Anyway, so I'll go to the a little bit of that was a little bit of the history of the slave trade. Okay, so prior to 19, okay, slaves were coming from North Africa. We're looking at Mauritania, we're looking at Senegal, we're looking at Morocco, we're looking at Algeria, Libya. That's where slaves were coming from, or the Iberian Peninsula. That's where the slaves were coming from into the Americas before they shifted their attention to sub-Saharan Africa, right? So, historic slavery reparations hearing sparks heated debate. All right. Yeah, chaotic storm very funny, huh? The first congressional hearing in a decade to discuss compensation for the descendants of U.S. slaves has been heated, has seen heated arguments from both sides. Some witnesses said reparations would damage the relationship between the white and black Americans, while others said it was imperative to achieve justice, right? So for the African American, they want justice, but the European don't know what justice means. They don't know what justice is, right? Um, One moment, family. Sorry, just trying to invite a few more people to come in. Yeah. So yeah, what was I saying? The African Americans are talking about justice, and white people were like, "What justice? This was done in the past. This has got nothing to do with us." But the truth is, they're sitting on wealth generated from the past. Okay, they inherited wealth. Okay, so, but yeah, they're not gonna budge. Okay, they're not gonna budge. But yeah, we'll see. Several Democratic White House hopefuls have taken up the idea of reparations, but Republican leader Mitch I can't pronounce his name, McConnell, has made McConnell has made it clear no reparations bill will pass while he controls the Senate. So I mean the insolence, right? I mean the arrogance. So you know, so not until you remove Mr. Mitch McConnell, okay, your reparation bill will not pass. Okay, so this guy here is sitting on it, okay, with his sad face, right? With his sad face. The House of Representatives Judiciary Subcommittee on the Constitution, Civil Rights, and Civil Liberties said the Wednesday hearing would examine the legacy of transatlantic slave trade, its continuing impact on the community, and the path to restorative justice. Hundreds of people lined up outside the hearing room, and so I mean, it should be thousands of people. Okay, it should be thousands of people, not hundreds. You should have thousands of people line up outside. Like it should be a major protest of black people outside the courthouse. Okay, but yeah, hundreds of people. So hundreds of people lined up outside the hearing room and filled the overflow room to watch. What the arguments against reparations? What are the arguments against reparations? Sorry about that. Asked about the issue on Tuesday, Mr. McConnell told reporters, "I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago, for whom none of us currently living are responsible, is a good idea." Boom, boom. This is what an average white person will tell you. My ancestors did this 150 years ago. What does that got to do with me? I have nothing to do with that. Boom, they're right. They're right, absolutely right. Okay, absolutely right. You cannot force someone to pay for the sin of his father when he wasn't around. 150 years later, how many generations is that? 3, 4 generations removed, right? So what you're now doing is what you need to do is, the solution now is either you work with them, okay. But if you continue fighting for this, you're not going to get anything because these people stand on this, okay. As resentful as they are, okay, this is what they stand by. 150 years ago, okay, the reparations should have been claimed right after the slaves were freed, 1865. Right after that, okay, but they missed the mark. They missed the mark. They should have collected the reparations and moved out of the United States completely. You stayed through the United States, Jim Crow, and all that, okay. And now you're asking descendants of these people to pay you money. Okay. This is going to be a very, very heavy, court case. Okay, so we're going to see what's going to happen. Okay, I personally would love to see the United States pay reparations. Okay, I would love to see the United States pay reparations to alleviate the the economic circumstances of African Americans. In terms of home ownership, properties and stuff like that. As of now, the average worth of the African American is like $5, and it's been projected that the African American will be the net worth of the African will be zero by the year 2050. So if nothing is done, it's going to be interesting to see the American politics play out, in our lifetime. So it's going to be epic. Okay, if that is if white people don't get too upset, right? So currently there are no black communities in the United States anymore. Chicago is now being filled by gentrification and other type of people other than black people. Okay, the United States had it black and white. Okay, it was a country for black and white. They should have worked together. Okay, and together they can build. But because of the hatred in the past for the African American, the hatred for the black man, okay, they brought in all these type of other people, the Asians, they brought in the Mexicans, all these people who have come and surpassed the African American and doing better than the African American. And now the African American is at the bottom. This should tell you that these people don't want you here. Time for you to go back to Africa and build Africa. You build the United States, okay? Now go back and build Africa. Go back and build a home for yourself on your mother continent. Okay, so I mean, it's a very, very difficult fight. Okay, it's going to be a very, very difficult fight, and ego is in play. Okay, a lot of ego is in play. The white man in America will never bow down to the black man. All right, will never. See, this is what it is here. I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago. They just brushed it aside. Something. Okay, they just called it something. I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago, for whom none of us currently living are responsible, is a good idea. Wow. And he's not speaking for himself, family. He's speaking for the entire white population in the United States. This guy here is speaking for the entire white people. Okay. So yeah, we'll see. He said that it would be hard to figure out to who to compensate. Okay. So and again, this is why I was saying it's too late. Okay, for reparations, because for all you know, this person here maybe has a great grandfather that was black. Okay, this person here, blonde hair, blue eye, whatever. Okay, I don't think he has blue eyes. He has brown eyes. Okay, definitely does have a black grandfather or great grandfather. He can claim African American descent too. So how do they solve this thing? Who is black and who's not in the United States? It's gone. the avenue, the window has been shut. So we'll see. We'll see. So is it people that look as dark as you and I that will get reparations? And what about someone who looks very light skinned will not get reparations? And you have Yvette Carnell saying that she's more of Irish. She's like, oh, she's like 40 something percent sub-Saharan African, and then the rest are like Irish, German, whatnot. Okay, but then she is claiming African American descent and spewing all the hatred, anti-African hatred. Now you can see, right? You can see that she doesn't side with her African ancestry. She calls herself African American, but she's less African. So Yvette Cornell, okay, you are less African. That's why you spew so much anti-African rhetoric, right? Anyway, so we'll read on. So yeah, again, who gets to be compensated? Who is black and who is not in the United States? So yeah, we've tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, by passing landmark civil rights legislation. He added, so no. So this is the common misconception that the Civil War was fought because of slavery. No, it wasn't. It was only a perk that when African Americans fought on the side of the American army, okay, against the Confederates, they'll be granted freedom. Okay, that wasn't the reason why they were. Slavery was not the reason why they were fighting the war. Okay, the war was fought because the southern states, okay, were making more money. The southern states were making more money than the northern states. The northern states have industrialized, okay, they were not making as much money. The southern states have industrialized as well, but then they were still using slaves. So again, you're having machines, okay, doing jobs for you, and you're having free labor. So the southern states were making more money than the north, and that's why the north wanted to subdue the south. But then the slaves are going to be in conflict with one another. So one on the side of the Confederates and one on the side of the American government. Okay, so you have the United States saying that those who will fight on the side of the United States government will be granted freedom. Okay, so you have a lot of African Americans fighting on the side of the United States government with the promise of freedom. Okay, but there wasn't, slavery was not the reason why they fought the war. The war was based on economics because the southern states were making more money than the northern states. Okay, the northern states were making less money. Okay, the southern states is where all the food is grown. There's the economic zone. The better part of the United States is in the south. Okay, and the Confederate controlled it, and they were using slave labor. So basically, it's gonna happen that way. So don't be fooled. Okay, it wasn't fought because of slaves. Okay, freedom for slavery. Okay, came as a perk. Okay, as because the United States government won against the Confederates. Okay, so do I have a comment here? So Niger boy, let's see, chaotic storm. Niger boy, no bill is passing in the U.S. regardless or who controls the House Senate. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, family. Niger boy again. Who exactly do you pay? It will bankrupt the country. Yeah. In fact, okay, the country is already in debt. Okay, excess of $17 trillion to China. Okay, the U.S. government is living on debt. Okay, it's living on debt. So you're not going to be paying $140 trillion to African Americans. Where do you think that's going to place the country? The country is going to be in debt. The country has no money for that, right? So again, the window has passed, right? The window has passed. Chaotic storm. There is plenty of money for them to pay African Americans back, and then some. I do not get this, family. There is plenty of money for them to pay African Americans back, and then some. Okay. I don't think there is, family. The United States don't have that much money. Well, I know they spend like $750 billion on the military every year, the military budget, but paying African Americans excess of $140 trillion. Okay, some people say that about $300,000 to each African American, so about 60 million people that will identify as African American in the United States, each of them having 300 or about $300,000 in the bank account, liquid. I mean, where is the government going to get the money from? Do you think the government needs to go borrow money to do in order to do that? I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. But yeah, we still need to talk about it. Okay, we still need to talk about it. But as of now, I don't think the United States, okay, has that much money. All right, that that's why they're pushing for these trade sanctions and trade tariffs and stuff like that, just so they can get a bit more money. But it's not happening. Okay, Babylon is falling, and it's gonna fall hard, right? Naja boy, well then they have to pay Africans too. Yeah, of course, definitely have to pay Africans. Okay, I actually think um, they're gonna pay Africans first before they even consider the African Americans, because Africans have sovereign nations. African Americans don't have sovereign nations. They are citizens of the United States. They have the benefits of everything that goes on in the United States. Okay, so not until the African Americans separate, okay, they're not gonna have that. Right. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna conclude on this article. Okay, I'm gonna conclude on this article. Let's see, fine. So where was I? So what are the arguments for reparations? So witnesses. Have I reached there yet? No. Republican witness Coleman Hughes. No. We've tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war by passing landmark civil rights legislation. He added, "We elected an African American president." So yeah, this is what I said on O'Shea's channel when I was invited by O'Shea. Okay, I said, look, African Americans have had it. Okay, they voted in a black president, Barack Obama, and O'Shea basically would deny that Barack Obama was part of was for them or part of them or part of ADOS whatsoever. His mom is white and his father is Kenyan. But this just basically tells how the ADOS group feel. Okay, this is how they feel. They feel so removed from Africa, right? But white people don't think like that. White people think that you guys are Africans, or we are Africans. African Americans are Africans. We're basically Africans. So this is why you see the anti-African vitriol. Okay, the anti-African vitriol. They're trying to separate themselves so far from Africa now. Okay, they don't want to be African. Someone like Yvette Carnell, saying that she's less African than she is, African. She's more European than she is African. So why did someone like Yvette Carnell get to claim to be a black person? Why does she claim to be ADOS? She's a white person. Basically, Yvette Carnell is a white person. I am 99.9% African. So I'm proud of my African heritage. That Yvette Carnell is like only 40 something percent African and more, or almost 60% European. So she sees herself more European than she's African. So I mean, the truth is in the pudding. Okay, these people that push these ADOS movement, okay, your propagators are not in the interest of Africa. Okay, so again, so yeah, African Americans ADOS really don't like Barack Obama for that fact. Okay, but white people see different. Okay, white people see different every day out. They see you as African. Okay, they see you as African. You can't change that. I think we are always a work in progress in this country, but no one currently alive was responsible for that. Republican witness Coleman Hughes, an African American writer and New York student, argued during the hearing that reparations would insult many Black Americans by putting a price on the suffering of their ancestors. Exactly, this is what I say. Okay, you cannot put price, you cannot put money on the sufferings of our ancestors. Okay, we want to maintain that as a legacy. So the thing is, if white people pay you money, are you gonna shut up about slavery? Are you not gonna make any more roots movies? Like, look, slaves, like I stated before, North Africans were the first slaves in Americas before Sub-Saharan Africans came through. North Africans were slaves. Like you have the Berber groups, okay, in North Africa, the Dogons, the Tuareg, the what was it called, the Mende people, okay, they were the first slaves in the United States before Sub-Saharan people, the Yorubas and people coming from the Gold Coast and Dahomey and stuff like that, Angola and stuff like that, right? Europeans went to the closest place in Africa first, North Africa, and took them basically for what North Africa did to like Spain and stuff. Okay, the Berbers were all the way in Germany. Okay. They were pushed back into Africa, and they decided to enslave them. Okay, so this is what happened. So yeah, you cannot be oblivious to that fact. Okay, so so yeah, again, the legacy. Okay, if they pay you this money, are you gonna be, are you gonna are you gonna hush up and not talk about slavery anymore, or are you gonna keep on saying that the white man is the devil? So when you look at the slavery, okay, even the name Slav, okay, comes from like the former Yugoslavia and the Czechoslovakia, all those Eastern European countries. They were the first slaves. Okay, that's where the name slavery came from, or slave, or Slav. That's where it comes from. So these people are not crying out to Western Europe and say, "Oh, you guys enslaved us," blah 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 blah. Right? The Romans enslaved, like Northern Europe, enslaved them as well. All right. So yeah, this is very tricky. It's a very tricky point to talk of discussion. So you even have African Americans divided. Okay, divided about this. So yeah, if we were to pay reparations today, we would only divide the country further, making it harder to build the political coalitions required to solve the problems facing Black people today. So what are the arguments for reparations? Witnesses who testified in favor of reparations included actor Danny Glover. So I said Danny Glover, who made this video, "This Is America." Okay, basically painted the whole history of America. Okay, started from the warehouse. Okay, the slave, the man dressed in a slave working outfit with a bag over his head, playing a guitar. Oh no, playing guitar. Okay, in the tune of the Americans. Okay, so basically, America's a warehouse. Africans were brought in there to work, and then basically the African did everything to please the white person, and then when slavery was over, the white person shot the black person, okay, in the head with a Jim Crow pose, okay, basically telling you that they do not want you to have anything, they want to kill you. Okay, but Danny Glover put in his video, "This Is America," to put in the minds that nah, hell nah, okay, we need reparations. Okay, that's why he said, "Black men, get your money." Okay, he was calling for reparations. Grandma told me, "Black men, get your money." So he's basically telling you that Black men, go get your reparations. And I agree, reparations need to be paid, but it's going to be a very difficult fight. So yeah, Niger boy, I saw getting paid. My great grandfather and grandfather both shipped out. My grandfather's ship never left, but my great grandfather was shipped out. So yeah, this is really sad, right? So we in Africa also suffered the same fate, right? We suffered the same fate. Yeah, everyone in Africa was affected, especially like West Africa. An entire ethnic group was removed and shipped away. Villages were shipped away. An entire village was shipped away. You know, so yeah, tribes of people were shipped away. You know, so yeah, it's gonna be a very very expensive fix. Okay, so at least an apology, but they're not gonna apologize. So a national reparations policy is a moral, democratic. Nah. Let's go back. Witnesses who testified in favor of reparations included actor Danny Glover, who told the panel that such restitution would cure the damages inflicted by enslavement and forced racial exclusionary policies. Okay, so he's right. Okay, I agree. I really agree. Okay, and he painted that really really well in his epic music video. This is America. Okay, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Okay, it's sparked a global sensation. You have like This Is Nigeria. You can go watch This Is Nigeria. It's very very interesting. Najabo, I don't know if you've seen that video. This Is Nigeria. Okay, it's very very crazy. Okay, I really liked it. It speaks volume. Okay, yeah. So reparations need to be paid. Okay, again, if you haven't seen my commentary on that video, okay, This Is America, please go to my channel and have a look. All right. So yeah, and I sometimes feel like I didn't do enough justice to that video, but basically I made my points clear. It's all about reparations. Okay, reparations need to be paid. So a national reparations policy is a moral, democratic, and economic imperative, Mr. Glover said. Okay. Lawmakers also heard from writer Ta-Nehisi Coates, whose 15,000 word cover story for the Atlantic magazine in 2014, The Case for Reparation, reignited the whole debate. All right. So, I mean, again, look at this guy's face. Okay. He has no intentions of paying reparations. Right. He has no intentions of paying reparations, man. Look at that. Look at that face. Okay. He has no intentions of paying reparations. He does have blue eyes, bluish green eyes. Okay, so yeah, there you go. I mean, this guy is old enough to have lived through Jim Crow as a little kid. Okay, by the look of things. So I mean, my last article that I'm gonna read is about our good old Donald Trump. Okay, so this is gonna be my last article. So I'm just gonna breeze through it. Okay, you all know the story of the Central Park 5. It's on Netflix. Central Park 5 documentary. It's documentary When They See Us. Okay, so Donald Trump in 1989 made a paid money for major news networks to publish articles to bring back the death penalty because of these these teenagers that were wrongfully convicted of rape, so rape and murder of somebody. So yeah, without much ado, I'm going to read this article. Okay, the U.S. President Donald Trump has stood by his comments about 5 men who were wrongly convicted for the brutal rape of a jogger in Central Park in 1989, saying they had admitted their guilt. Following Donald Trump said they had admitted their guilt. Following the arrest of the 5 teenagers, Mr. Trump paid for newspapers' adverts calling for the return of the death penalty in the state. The Central Park 5 were exonerated in 2002 after another man confessed. They say their earlier confessions were a result of police coercion, okay, or cohesion. The case has received renowned public attention in recent weeks following the release of Netflix miniseries When They See Us. I haven't watched it yet, but I just saw a little bit of highlights and I know what it's about. Okay, I've read so many articles about it anyway. They put a bounty on our heads by taking out these full-page ads calling for debts. One of the men, Youssef Salim, said last month. Mr. Trump was asked by a reporter at the White House on Tuesday if he would apologize to the 5 men for the newspaper ads. Listen to what he said, right? Why do you bring this question up now? It's an interesting time to bring it up, he said. So, of course, his presidential election is coming. Okay, you'd be a fool for a black person going to vote for Donald Trump at this moment. Okay, you have people on both sides of that. They admitted their guilt. If you look at Linda Feinstein, and if you look at some of the prosecutors, they think that the city should never have settled that case. So we'll leave it at that. So basically, he's saying Linda Feinstein, who made a lot of money, okay, by the way, made a lot of money by, prosecuting these people, okay, and selling books, made millions of dollars, okay, on this case. But then it was a false case, okay, due to racism. Ms. Feinstein was the top Manhattan sexual crimes prosecutor when the 5 teenagers were charged with the attack. She went on to become a best-selling crime novelist, but was dropped by her publisher last month amid renewed outcry over the case. Okay, she has maintained that the 5 men were not coerced and defended the authorities conducted. Raymond Santana, Kevin Richardson, Antron McCray, Yusuf Salem, Corey Wise were aged between 14 and 16 when they were arrested for the brutal rape of a 28-year-old white investment banker who was left for dead in a bush in Central Park and had no memory of the attack. This is crazy. Wow. Wow. So the person has no memory of the attack. So they just went to arrest random teenagers and blame them for the rape. And who knows if she was even raped at all? She has no memory of it. She has no memory. Anyway, so the racially charged case shocked the city and provoked fears of gangs of black teenagers going on crime rampages. So you can see the trend coming from the 80s through the 90s. Okay, the hate crime towards black people and everything. Okay, it's all by design, right? The teenagers initially confessed to the crime, but later recanted. Okay, so when they not confess, they like to say confess, but they were pushed to make a confession. Okay, they could say, oh, if you confess, we only give you like 5 years jail. But then when they confess, they say, yes, I killed him, and I killed, or we killed her. They're gonna say, aha, they confessed. Okay, then the judge now will say, look, with the case of Mohammed Noor, okay, he confessed that he killed the Australian. Okay, if he had said that, look, I was defending myself, I was defending my partner. Okay, I feared for my life. If he had said that, they might consider, look, okay, he actually was afraid of his life. But then they're gonna say, oh, who is afraid of a blonde woman or blonde white woman? But you can argue, oh, she was about to attack me. Okay, I was afraid for my life, right? But then he admitted to killing her, and then they jailed him 12 years. Okay, so it's a scheme, okay, to jail black men in the United States. Okay, all right. So the teenagers initially confessed to the crime, but later recanted, saying their admissions were the result of police coercion. They were imprisoned for between 5 and 13 years, but their convictions were ultimately overturned in 2012 after a serial violent offender named Matthias Rees or Reyes confessed to the attack, and DNA tests confirmed his guilt. In 2014, a $41 million or 32 million pounds settlement was reached between the 5 men and New York City. So 5 men dividing $32 million or 32 million pounds. 5 men, so little under, $4 million each. Okay, or $3 million each, about $3 million each, right? You've been jailed for 13 years for a crime you did not commit. Okay, and you've been awarded $41 million. Okay, but the family of the Australian, okay, that was murdered by, or that was killed by, the policeman Mohammed Noor, was awarded $20 million. $20 million, right? So you can see the racism here, right? Okay, so yeah, Donald Trump basically doesn't want to apologize. Okay, he doesn't see that he's made a mistake, and we all know how arrogant Donald Trump is. He's not going to apologize for it. He's always going to make another statement, to counter anything. Okay, so again, it just tells you how white people feel. Okay, how white people feel, right? Um, this is how white people feel. Okay. Um, What are the arguments against reparations? Asked about the issue on Tuesday, Mr. McConnell told reporters, I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago, for whom none of us currently living are responsible, is a good idea. Okay. Um, he also said, we've tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, okay, which is a lie. Okay, the Civil War was not fought because of slavery. Okay, it was for economic gains. Okay, by passing landmark civil rights legislation, he added, "We elected an African American." If you want to see, okay, I've finished reading my articles. Okay, if you really want to know the truth about the Civil War, okay, at the time of the Civil War, okay, African Americans were still slaves. Those in the United States Army were still slaves. They were promised freedom, okay, after slavery. I mean, after the Civil War, if they fought on the side of the Americans, okay, uh, the American government, they were promised freedom. Okay, so if they were free, even Lincoln at the time, okay, had Lincoln had slaves. So if they were really genuine, they would have freed the slaves before even the Civil War. The slaves were freed after the Civil War. Okay. So it should tell you that the war was not fought because of slaves. Okay. That's a lie. If anyone should tell you the war was fought because of slaves, that's a lie. Okay. That's a damn lie. Okay. And I'm not going to buy into that. All right. I'm not going to buy into that. So yeah, family, I have finished my stream. Okay. Thank you all for joining me. Okay. Ghana is more peaceful than the UK. Okay. According to the Global Peace Index, Ghana is ranked the 44th peaceful country in the world, and it can only get better. But the trouble looming in North Africa at the moment, with ISIS fighters making their way making their way into Africa, finding the Sahara Desert as a haven for them. Okay, it is really going to cause a lot of problems in North Africa. But we'll see how things go. Okay, and also Mohammed Mercy dying. Okay, I believe it's a natural death. Okay, it had nothing to do with anyone. Mohammed Mercy is not a very healthy person to start with, anyway. So what year did he die? Let's see. Um, just a quick research. Mohammed Morsi. Okay. So Mohammed Morsi. He was born in 1951. So a bit over 60 years now. Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's reached his lifespan. Okay, this guy wasn't even healthy to start with. Anyway, he wasn't healthy to start with. So, yeah, he wasn't healthy to start with. Yeah. So yeah, he's 68 years old. Dude is 68 years old. I mean, come on. He's almost 70. I mean, his reached his lifespan. Okay. So yeah, I don't suspect any foul play. He committed an offense. Okay, treason against the Egyptian people. Okay, he was jailed rightfully so for it, and he died in jail. Okay. So yeah, that basically it. Okay. So yeah, has nothing to do with LCC. Okay, and yeah, Central Park. Okay, the Central Park Five. Okay, relating to the story of reparations. Okay, how white people actually feel from the you know you know from the hierarchy, okay, from the power structure down to the everyday white person in America. They do not feel reparations should be paid to black people, okay, because it's going to cause more harm than good. All right, and we already know the implications. Okay, we already know the backlash. Okay, when black people get wealth at the expense of white people, we already know what's going to happen, right? And as of now, okay, white people have more guns than black people do. So, when it comes to a physical confrontation, okay, there's going to be genocide. Okay, black people in the United States are going to face genocide. All right. So, without much ado, I am going to close the stream. Okay, I have done justice to this topic. Okay, I have exhausted this topic, and I thank you all for joining me. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look in the chat. Um, So yeah, Nigel boy, I don't know if you're still here. Chaotic Storm, I don't know if you're still here. Uh, San Francisco, it's 7 p.m. Okay, you're still up. New York is 16 p.m. So I mean, you guys are still wide awake. Okay, those in Africa, thanks family, thanks for the support, thanks for the support. Nigel boy, thanks for the support, brother. Those in Europe and Africa, you'll be waking up to this story. Okay, 10:16 p.m. Right. You're in Dallas, yeah, aren't you? Are you in Dallas? Nigel boy, are you in Dallas? Are you about leaving the office? All right, good timing. Right, good timing. You go out there and enjoy your day, right? Go out there and enjoy your night. Okay. I mean, have a good night. So yeah, thank you all for joining the stream. Please share. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And yeah, I mean, Africa is moving forward. Okay, Africa is moving in the right direction. There's peace in Ghana. Okay, African Americans. The more reason why African Americans want to move to Ghana is because there's peace and there's stability in Ghana. Okay, this is what it's about, right? This is what it's about: peace and stability. A country with peace and stability. Okay, there's a lot of growth and development. There's more room. There's potential for growth and development. Okay, so yeah, share the news. Okay, Ghana is more peaceful than the UK, even though the UK proclaims to be more peaceful than Africa, but evidently that's not the case, right? Ghana is more peaceful than the UK. So, and more peaceful, Ghana is more peaceful than the United States. Okay, African countries are more peaceful than the United States. Right. So, Chaotic Storm, I could tell Ghana was so peaceful. Yeah, Ghana is very peaceful. Okay, there's even a word they call it asumdre, okay, which just means peace. Peace. So yeah, Wadimaya and his mom looks like they are full of joy whenever he goes back. Oh yeah, that's the Ghanaian spirit. Okay, when you go to Ghana, you're celebrated. You're celebrated in Ghana. I mean, it's fantastic. Okay, the environment, the atmosphere in Ghana is beautiful. Yeah, so I advise anyone who hasn't been to Africa, okay, make your first step. Okay, first visit to Africa, visit Ghana. Okay, by all means, you can explore the entire continent of Africa. And shine your eyes. Okay, like the Nigerians would say, shine your eyes. Oga, shine your eyes. Oh, yeah. So shine your eyes. Africa is huge. Okay, Africa is huge. Massive continent. Okay, massive African continent. Travel through Africa, shine your eyes, broaden your horizon. Okay, myself, I even my inheritance is in Ghana because my grandfather had a lot of wealth in Ghana in terms of land, and my mom as well inherited some from her parents as well. So there's a lot of wealth for me in Ghana in terms of land, and I can go and build. Okay, but when it comes to heritage and ancestry, I have ancestry in Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cape Verde, you know, um, Senegambia, um, you know, East Africa, Rwanda, Mozambique, throughout the entire continent of Africa, right? Namibia, okay, one of my favorite places in Africa, okay. Place that I would love to live in is Namibia. Uh, you know, I have ancestry all over Africa. This is why I promote Pan-Africanism, okay? Because the entire continent of Africa belongs to us. Okay, we are Africans, and Africa is our home. Africa for Africans, okay, and Africans for Africa. So I mean, this is what it is, right? No lie. Okay, this is what it is. So yeah, spread yourself throughout the entire continent. The African free trade area is going to start. Okay, the 7th of July. Okay, they're going to start the first trading amongst Africa under the African Free Trade Policy or agreement or a law or whatever it is. And what else? This is a big, big, big stride. Okay, this is a big, big stride for the African Union. Okay, so who knows the agenda 2063 is by 2063, the year 2063, the African Union will be Africa will be a united country, like one solid block, one solid country. And we might achieve this before even 2063. I'm gauging 2050. By the year 2050, okay, I can envision like an entire continent of Africa united together. Okay, and it's gonna be beautiful. Okay, it's gonna be beautiful. By the year 2050, you see my generation, our generation. Okay, Chaotic Storm, our generation, Ninja Boy, our generation are gonna be the top people in Africa. Okay, so this is why we need to start building now. Okay, so people like us, in the West. Okay, when we go back to Africa and we start building, okay, our children are gonna be bearing, harvesting the fruits of our labor, what we've built. Okay, so it's our generation that's going to transform Africa. Okay, not the current generation. They're going to die and pass away in a few years, give or take 20 years for most of the African leaders. 20 years. In 20 years, most of the African leaders are going to pass away. But people like us, okay, the new generation coming forward, the millennials, okay, we are the future of Africa. We are going to build Africa to where we want it to be. All right. So without much ado, okay, family, I am going to end the stream. Okay, thank you all for joining me. Okay, Chaotic Storm, thank you. You guys have a good night. Okay, in the United States. Barbara Satin, I don't know if you're still here. Thank you for contributing. Okay, Ghana is Wakanda. Yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Ghana is Wakanda. Eric B. Quasi, thank you for joining the stream. Okay, I appreciate it, family. Thanks for the support. Very Tunes, thanks for the support. Okay, thank you for this. Elm City, I don't know if you're still here, family. Okay, I don't know if you're still here. Did you want to come in? Right? Did you want to say something, Elm City? Yeah. Anyone wants to come in and say something? Okay, I'll give you the floor. I can give you 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. If you're interested in if you wanna come in, I still have time. So if you wanna come in and chime in, okay, let me know. Otherwise, okay, I'd like to end the stream, okay, and be a bit productive, a bit more productive. I know I'm being productive right now, okay. I'm being productive right now, okay, promoting Pan-Africanism and global unification of everyone of African descent, and showing the world, okay, that Africa is peaceful, okay, Ghana is peaceful, right? Ghana is peaceful. Asimje, okay, Asimje in Ghana. So yeah, peace in Ghana. Ghana is more peaceful and more safe to travel to Ghana than the UK. All right. Here in Australia, during the suicide, uh, the London Bridge, no, is it the London Bridge attack or market attack? Okay, an Australian died. Okay, an Australian died. So, but then you have Australians in droves, flying to the UK for holidays and stuff like that, but they will not go to they will not they tell you not to go to Africa, they tell you not to go to Ghana, but then UK, more terrorists are dying. I mean, more terrorist activities in the UK, more people are dying. It's not safe, but Ghana is safe. All right, family. Okay. Thank you all family for joining the stream. Like this video on your way out, share and subscribe. All right. Peace out, family. Peace out. Peace out. Until next time. Okay. Peace out. Peace out.